will try once more to see if I can get back the president of SUCAPU in the person of Dr. Jonathan Asake, that is the Southern Kaduna people there. Oh, okay. So, Dr. Asake, are you there?
Okay.
Now we have you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
The network here seems to be very poor. I'm in the village of the late Dogesin Kanga at the burial wake-up service. So you will bear with me if you cannot hear me very well. The network is fluctuating. Can I go on?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay. Thank you very much and for the opportunity. I have not been part of the meeting from the beginning. I've been on the road, but I understand the topic that you are discussing. It has to do with these killer herdsmen that have been become a menace in every community in all the regions now. It started in the Middle Belt, particularly in Plateau, then to Southern Kaduna about 12 years ago. You may recall in 2012, I think, when a town called Dogono Hawa was invaded by these herdsmen, what we call herdsmen, but they are actually militia terrorists, Fulani terrorists, and they killed over 500 people in one night. And nothing was done about it. And they had continued until today. They are in the southern part of the country. Now, the question that people ask is, what are these killer herdsmen looking for? Based on my experience and what we have experienced in the southern part of Kaduna State, most of our communities that have been displaced, in fact, they still remain in IDP camps, not IDP camps organized by the government, but they remain in uncompleted buildings and neighboring communities. And the government watch over that without intervention, without any food supply or necessary relief materials. But the government continue to ensure that these herdsmen block any attempt by members of the communities, indigenous communities, to get back to their communities. And what does it mean? Simple. It's change in demographics. Is to supplant indigenous populations in all these communities that have been attacked in the Middle Belt and in the southern part of Nigeria. And even in the core northern part, where Hausa communities are, is to supplant these communities and bring in populations of Fulani people. And there's an exercise now of demarcation of enumeration areas by the Population Commission of Nigeria. And most of the communities that have been displaced in our areas, their names have been changed to Fulani names. And so as we are going into the population count, what the agenda that is being played is to count these areas as Fulani communities, not the indigenous communities that have been displaced. That is why, so it's an agenda that is actually playing out. It's the agenda that actually predates the Buhari government. But the Buhari government is brazenly implementing it, taking cover under the fraudulent 1999 constitution, which has given him those sweeping powers unchallenged to continue to allow invaders, Fulani invaders, to invade communities, and the government authorities using the security agencies protect the invaders. And any attempt by the victim communities to defend themselves. They are arrested by the Nigerian military, by the security forces, and they are detained. That is the story every day in our areas. So the agenda here is the change in demographics in the Middle Belt and Southern Nigeria, and implant Fulani communities. And that shows also the nexus between what is playing out and the political agenda for Nigeria. What's the political agenda? When the population, when the demographics are changed, and we have new populations in those places, then when it is time for politics, for election, then areas that would have been occupied by indigenous populations are now occupied, even on paper, by Fulani population. And that shows that the Fulani will now take over power. If the constitution is going to be challenged, they want to walk ahead of time, ahead of our demands for restructuring, ahead of our demands for bringing down the constitution, and institutionalize themselves, put structures in place that will make it impossible for any other person in this country to have political power if it is election or whatever, by whatever means. And so the rest of the country becomes slaves and slaves forever. So this is what is lying there before us. Now, that particularly today, and I have seen many politicians from there, swallowing this bait, believing that, these are transferred east to the Igbos. Far from it. The agenda here is to cause a divide and rule, hand over power person, or to a southerner anymore. What is on the ground is to continue to perpetuate power in the hands of Corn or the Middle Belt. Now, together that they want to form a new mega party. For how many times shall we continue? Each time we want to form a new mega party. When they failed, power will slip from their hands. They went and instigated people that did not understand, including Southerners, including Middle Belters, and the schemings of brought in what we call the new PDP. And the same people that brought in the new PDP that was a scheme. The new PDP now came up with the APC, with the rights of any other citizen, been implementing an agenda that has been lying low for long. Now, today, going on. This is formed. They are the same people that will APC, and they will take over the linear manner. So what is the way out? The way out is that, look, it is this constitution, this very fraudulent constitution that we are operating today, has given rise to, is hiding in the garment of democracy today. It is this constitution that has given rise to a National Assembly that has become a rubber stamp assembly. That even when service chiefs that we know they are carrying serious burdens of international crime, they are already nominated, and have to amend the constitution, and we take it to the National Assembly as presently constituted.
Sadly, Jonathan, thank you very much for your submission. I think we've heard what you've said.
Of the members
Jonathan, if you can hear me clearly.
Check zone by zone. You will see that over 1 nationality is coming from Kaduna State.
Very much for your submissions. If you can hear me clearly, obviously your connection at some point started doing the Nigerian thing. To summarize your submission, you clearly stated that there is a deliberate plan to supplant and to change the demography of the southern and the middle belt. And also in your proposition for solution, you aligned with previous speakers that agreed that the issue is with the 1999 Constitution, and that Constitution should be brought down. Once more, thank you very much for your contribution.